As a drone operator, you eventually get desensitized to killing people via proxy, though it never becomes easy as some believe it to be. I first came into the job expecting it to be something along the lines of a video game, but even when you're looking at confirmed terrorists through the IR camera of your Reaper, you can't help but humanize them. It's simple empathy. Unless you're a psychopath, launching missiles into those strobing white or black hot lights will eventually take a toll on you. I've been diagnosed with uncomplicated PTSD, for example, even though I've never actually left the control facility in the line of duty. The incident I'll be talking about here was supposed to be a simple kill mission in Afghanistan, as best I knew. The target was a cell of insurgents who were, according to our intel, planning on mounting a series of bombing along the Pakistan border. For what reason, I don't know, but I had a job to do. And as all senior pilots, I was intent on seeing it through. As you probably know, my co-pilot was a long-standing friend of mine. We didn't anticipate any issues except for perhaps some mental anguish after the deed was done. So we approached the mission like any other. Our Predator had taken off at 2200 from Afghan FOB, which allowed us to reach the designated location in a very short amount of time. Everything was fine up until we reached distance at which we were to make contact with the target. That's when strange visual artifacts started popping up on our monitors. It looked like screen tearing for most part, though like nothing I'd ever seen before. We asked AQ to try and clear up the signal if they could, as we were practically flying blind at that point. Whatever magic they did, it worked and successfully minimized the problem, though it did persist for the remainder of the operation. With our camera back up and running, we resumed the run. Targets were located in a small, dilapidated village that was flanked by low hills on east and south and a river flying right through. We were told that the location had been evacuated weeks ago for undisclosed reasons, and that we were to engage as soon as we had visual contact. The Hellfire missile was ready to go as soon as we were, but my co-pilot asked if I'm seeing what he was seeing. The camera was switched to white hot, and at the distance of 3 clicks, we could see a number of people huddled around the village center. Naturally, we were confused, as the place was supposed to be deserted, yet we could count about 3,000 people standing there. We informed Central about this oddity and were told to investigate before engaging. After zooming in closer and switching to black hot to try to discern what was going on, we realized that the people weren't communicating in any way. They were all just standing straight, as if in military formation of some sort, except they weren't. It was a ragtag group of inert man-like shapes without any motion whatsoever. We gave the details to our higher-ups, which was followed by radio silence. While HQ was discussing our course of action, me and my co-pilot kept a close eye on the people. It felt as if they were mannequins of some sort, and after an uneasy joke about their rigidity, we both agreed something wasn't right. The silence continued for about 20 minutes, when a well-dressed man with glasses and a mustache entered the room from which we were flying the drone. Immediately, he told us not to be worried, and that he just has to confirm something in person for us to proceed. He ordered us to switch to night vision and focus the camera towards the center of the group. Sure enough, this revealed something new. From each and every one of those people standing there stretched something out of their necks. A thin, rope-like strand which was visible only through the image intensifier, meaning that it emanated virtually no heat at all. All these strands were pointing to where the man had us direct the camera, from which a substantially large, almost completely invisible shape tugged at them from time to time. While me and my co-pilot watched in disbelief, the visitor nodded with an indifferent look on his face and ordered us to fire. We tried to argue against launching a hellfire in the middle of a crowd of what had to be civvies, but he was adamant. Immediately, the HQ started exerting pressure as well, and we had no choice but to do so. When the deed was done, and the drone was on its way home, me and my friend had both been given an additional NDA to sign, which, as you can see, I'm breaking here. Everything in regard to this was incredibly surreal. Though the thing that bothers me the most is what the strange man told me as I was leaving the facility. They were already dead.